my channel, Gardening with Nvart. Today is such a beautiful spring day, and we have lots of bees buzzing everywhere. It's not very hot yet, and I really wanted to share my garden because right now it just looks so beautiful. I started this garden from the scratch, and when we moved here there was nothing here, and I'm so excited to share with everyone, with our friends. I constantly invite everybody over so I can show them my new flowers that are blooming for the season, and I just thought it would be so much fun to share with everyone, and people get inspired from my garden, and I get inspired from all the gardeners across the world. Just a little background: my husband and I moved from Colorado, from United States, to Castros, France about 3 years ago. 2014, my husband surprised me with a very nice gift. And we traveled to Paris. We fell in love with France, and we went back home. We decided to move. So here we are. We've been living here for 3 years. We had such a great warm welcome by all French people here that we met. We have great friends, just a really very calm and beautiful place, and we just wanted to experience new culture, experience new way of life, and just simplify it. So here we are. I started a garden from scratch, and in Colorado I did garden quite a bit. I've always loved gardening. My love for garden started from my parents, who used to garden quite a bit, and so here we are. I wanted to show this area. This area is my first area of the garden where I started. This entire place I dug and mixed with a bunch of compost. Then I created areas. But this is an inspirational video because there's lots of us that we get so intimidated to start a garden because we don't know where to start and what to plant and what our finished picture is going to be. Our design will all go together, etc. My personal experience is gardening is so much fun because it's all about creativity, and you can create anything that you like, anything that you can imagine anyway. And I think that you can start in one area and just continue creating as you go, create new areas, new rooms in your garden, and learn about new plants and where they will go, uh, where they can be planted, they will look good and also will be more adaptable to the sun or shade, etc. But this is a good example because I really didn't know what to do with this garden when I started. I was keep looking, having a cup of coffee, and finally I decided that this is the area I just want to tackle. I don't want to think about the rest of the area, just this area. And I started digging. So I started digging, and suddenly I had an idea that maybe I would like to do a design like this and have some vertical interest along with lower growing plants, and maybe have lots of annuals planted here. So this area is very woodland area because there's lots of tall and old trees, and that's really it. So it's great because they do provide dappled sun, that kind of filtered sun where lots of the plants really thrive. And there is some very sunny areas in the garden, which is great for sun-loving plants or perennials. But what I think is that it is always just really beautiful to mix annuals with perennials and also have structured lines. For example, right here, I lined my beds with boxwood. I love this look because it does give some kind of a structure and some kind of a formality to the garden. In the background, usually here I have lots of annuals planted, so normally I have lots of color against the green, which looks really, really nice. I have Ito intersectional peonies growing here. So this was my first area, and I just really wanted to show you this part of the garden because I have tulips opening here today, which this is the first day. That looks really pretty. I didn't know what kind how they would look, but they're really interesting. But I have daffodils with the apricot centers. I love the daffodils. They're so beautiful. Look at that. So Margaret Daisy, this Margaret Daisy, I thought it will not survive our winters, but it did. It did survive in a pot. I'm really excited, and look how beautiful this is. It's growing and it's greening, have lots of flower buds. Very, very exciting. So I created an iris garden right here. These irises are doing very good. They're healthy. They're coming along. Actually, they're a lot bigger than I thought they will be because they were very small when I planted them. So I do have a nice, beautiful hybrid tea rose right here, which is forming buds. Um, so my other area that I really wanted to show you is my second part of the garden, which I was working my second year, I believe, that I was here. And I have lots of trees. I have lots of trees here, and I decided to cut them into the islands, which I actually really like. It brightens with the white pathway. The white pathways are really brightening this shady area, bringing light to it. I really like how it looks. Um, I have lots of perennials and hydrangeas. Hydrangeas are my favorite plants, so I lined them lined with hydrangeas everywhere, mixed with the peonies and some other perennials which are going to come back soon. But I did cut them into different shapes and made these beautiful pathways, which are they're really fun to garden, and the beds are not so big where it's really difficult to work with them. For example, this bed is my biggest one I think I have, and it is a challenge to try to work inside and from the two sides, not really trying to get into the garden and step on the soil because that really packs it down. I really don't like stepping on the soil too much because it's been dug and it's been treated, so I kind of like to keep it nice and fluffy for my plants. This area is, I decided to do this circle. I love this area. I just planted geraniums. The geraniums last year, I planted geraniums last year here as well, but they are not cold hardy in my area, so I took them home to protect them from the winter frost. So I just took them out and planted them here along with my lemures, and they're doing really great. I love the silvery foliage, just beautiful. My formal rose garden, I have hybrid teas, and they're all similar, same variety of hybrid teas. I wanted to have a whole mass, the same flowers, just a formal rose garden. It has always been my dream, so I decided to dedicate one corner just for the hybrid teas. And this is a really nice area for the roses because it gets lots of sun. So here, this way, I have a bunch of tulips coming out because I planted lots of tulips about 2018 fall, and last spring, I had lots of tulips blooming here. This year, I just don't have as many. They're coming all back, but you know, I have just a little pockets of tulips. I think there's some varieties that naturalize really well, and some varieties they just don't come back well the next year. As you can see, these red varieties are doing really good, and they actually have lots of little bitty ones that are coming back this year. But I'm happy with them. I do like bright colors in my garden, so I don't mind. I love all colors. Here, this is a kind of a shady area, and I have camellias, hydrangeas growing, of course, some peonies, tree peonies. Here, I have this beautiful camellia, which I really wanted to share with you. Just so beautiful. It looks like a candy cane a little bit. Look at that. Such a beautiful structure of the petals. I love this camellia. And climbing hydrangea here. So this is getting a little longer, but I would like to show you maybe this last area that I finished last fall, and I love how it turned out. This is a really large planter. I have been working on this planter for almost the entire summer, all the way to autumn, and I have lots of things planted here. If you guys are ever interested to know about all the plants in details, let me know, and I will be happy to go through all of them with you. But this particular one I really wanted to share with you today because it has huge blooms. This is a tree peony, And I'm really excited about tree peonies because in Colorado I couldn't really grow them. I know they can be hardy to zone 5, but I didn't have a lot of success in growing tree peonies in Colorado. So here I have so many blooms and it's keep getting big. It's just so beautiful. And also I created this path here, the garden path, which I'm going to uh, build this with the stepping stones, just because our grass here gets so worn out from walking that I decided to build this with the stepping stones. And it actually will be great because it will bring a nice brightness to it, and also it looks really nice with the color of the house. But also I've lined here with the incredible hydrangeas. If any of you guys are not familiar with the incredible hydrangeas, they are stronger variety of Annabelle, and they have huge, beautiful white, cloudy blooms that are so big, and they will be kind of snowballing here when they bloom. And I really wanted to create a hedge that defines this area and just creates this big drama as you walk by. And of course I lined them with the boxwood. I love the look of formal structure against it. So I have clematis here growing on this arbor, and a bunch of daffodils here that are coming out this year. New tulips, bunch of tulips, and here here I have another arbor, which I have two clematis growing on these arbors, and they're actually doing quite good and very healthy. So again, my garden is so young. It's been only 3 years, and again, I have a really big plans for this area, but you can see what I've been working with, because for example, right here is such a rough area. We just cut a whole bunch of bushes, and that we really needed to open this place up for planting. And I have lots of shrubs that I need to dig out, which that's what I've done from starting from the bottom as coming up between the trees. And this is what I have to do, is just go through and clear everything out here and start outlining my flower beds and trying to come up with a design and design surrounded with the flower bed. So when I really like the feeling, I really like to feel when I'm sitting around somewhere and having a cup of coffee or visiting with friends, I would like to be surrounded with the nature, with flowers, with beautiful flowering shrubs, and that's what my favorite, what brings me joy. So I think that every single person has their own choice of garden, and anything that you do, anything that you create, it brings pleasure to you in any way that you can do and any way that you can imagine. And so this is just for inspiration. My husband is filming the video, so I will let him to maybe show you the entire thing, if that's okay. If you liked my video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.